All right. So if you are somebody that hates yourself, if you are somebody that feels like that you can absolutely accomplish nothing in your life, this video is for you. This video I hope is going to serve as a really good reality check for every single thing that you're actually going through and why exactly it is that you actually hate yourself in the first place. The number one reason why I feel like a lot of people just hate themselves is because they have these unrealistic expectations of what they are supposed to look like in life. Look, I suffer from unrealistic expectations about my day as well, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I need to hate myself because of it, because I don't meet my goals for the day or whatever the case might be. Sure, you can be sad about it, but like, why exactly hate yourself when life is already going to bring you down either way? So, why are you just adding on to the plate of difficulties and trials that you actually have as well? The whole point of being okay with yourself is sometimes being okay with understanding that you're going through a rough patch in life, in time, and sometimes the unrealistic expectations about I got to get to work, I got to do my side hustle, I got to make money, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to find love, I got to have a better paying job, I got to have all of these different things. And then once you realize that you just have all these unrealistic expectations and none of those goals are actually being met, you're kind of screwed in life and your self-esteem just keeps on going down, and it's going to keep on plummeting until you actually accomplish something. Now, here's the thing that I want you and everybody to realize is that sometimes loving yourself literally just means getting out of bed. It literally just means just that. Sometimes loving yourself also means that you need to manage your expectations based off of what period of life that you are actually going through. I'm not saying to take it easy upon yourself, but I'm saying to cut yourself some slack because life is not going to cut you some slack either way. Now, look, is that great red pill self-improvement advice? Is that one of those like motivational speakers that you should always follow about, oh, you should do things even when you are going through a difficult period? I completely generally agree with that type of thinking, with that type of logic as well, because I hold myself to that standard. But what we end up doing, at least me in particular, what I end up doing is that even though I have all these lofty expectations and whatever my dream daily life is supposed to look like, if I do not meet those goals, I end up hating myself. And I feel like everybody does. And look, if life is going great for you and you're not meeting those goals, that's completely fine. But what ends up happening is that if you keep on having those bad days, you end up hating yourself along with all of the other trials that you actually have to go through in life. And that is just self detrimental at that point, because you keep on hating yourself because you keep on setting these lofty expectations and you're not managing your expectations properly about what it actually means to accomplish something throughout the day. Like I said before, sometimes loving yourself literally just means getting out of bed. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a kick, and that is completely okay. Like sometimes you kind of just need to take a step back and you need to say, man, I keep on hating myself because I keep on setting these lofty expectations and these lofty goals, and it's your own doing. You need to understand that sometimes it's okay to take a back seat for a little bit and then recoup your mind, recoup your emotions, and understand and get a better game plan on what exactly are the next few days, next few weeks, next few months are going to actually look like in your life, because shit happens all the time. And that does not mean that just because external events happen that you need to suffer internally by hating yourself. Life is already going to make you suffer in so many different ways. What is exactly the point of you having to hate yourself as well on top of it all? Like, why are you trying to sprinkle in more hardship for yourself? It doesn't make any sense. And logically, you might be saying that, yes, this guy is making complete sense. You need to manage those expectations that you actually have, but it's very hard to implement, isn't it? Because life keeps on progressing, friends keep on progressing, everybody around you feel like is just advancing in their life except for you. And that's very easy to feel like that as well. But guess what? Here's the dirty little secret that nobody will ever actually tell you about. Everybody feels like that. Everybody feels like that they're just being left behind in their life for one way, for one reason or another. The person who is advancing throughout their career and they're making $100,000, $200,000 a year. They're jealous of the people that actually have spouses, that actually are in loving relationships. And they're like, dude, I feel so left out. I feel so behind in life because I don't have the love of my life secured and locked down. The people who are in relationships, they're wondering, they're like, oh man, like all my friends keep on going out partying. They're traveling to Europe, they're traveling to South America and all these different places. I feel so left out because I don't get to experience those things because I have somebody else tying me down. The person who has kids, they're like, oh my god, I really wish that I was single and I didn't have kids because I feel like I need to explore my hobbies a little bit more. I need to find myself again. I need to do all of these things. And the person who doesn't have any kids wishes for kids because they're like, oh my god, this is the next step that I need to get to in my life. And if I don't get to it right now, then I'm going to be left out so behind, and my kids are not going to grow up with my friends' kids and this and that and whatnot. And every single person feels like this. Every single person ends up hating themselves for one reason or another because they feel like they have all these lofty expectations from life itself and from themselves as well, from the efforts that they actually can put in. And nobody seems to be meeting those expectations. And because of that, everybody ends up hating themselves. But they all put on a facade that they all love themselves, which is completely false. I'm telling you, every single thing that you are suffering from, everybody else is suffering from as well, just in another way. Life is just cruel like that. Life is always going to send out the same test to a certain amount of people. And the funny thing is, you're never going to know that another person is going through the same things that you are going through until you actually have a legitimate conversation with them. Everybody loves to hide these things. I'm just trying to put it out in the open and tell you that you're not the only one that is going through this trial. You're not some type of like super special human being that you were just made for punishment in this life. Like, it's not, that's just not the case. Everybody feels like this. Everybody goes through this rough patch on where they feel like they're not making enough progress in their life, that they don't love themselves, that they hate themselves completely because of the lack of accomplishment that they have in their life. When I'm telling you, literally everybody feels like that, man. Every single person. You got laid off from a job? All right, cool. Several thousand people did as well. They feel the exact same emotions that you do. The love of your life doesn't want you anymore? All right, cool. Get in line. Like, everybody feels like that. Everybody has gotten their heart broken one way or another. If friends left you, okay, cool. Time to make new friends. That doesn't necessarily mean that you need to hate yourself because of somebody else's decisions or life's decision of just putting you through shit. Manage your expectations, man. Understand that things are going to happen. Understand that sometimes the best thing that you can actually do for yourself, and the only thing that is required of you to do, is setting your expectations properly and making sure that you're just getting out of bed every single day. Some days that is literally going to be the only thing that you can actually accomplish, and that is okay. It's okay to just say that, man, I am struggling right now, but the one thing that I can do for myself is just get out of bed and make me a cup of coffee, or chai if you're me. I love chai. But do those things, man. And then from there, instead of just having this unrealistic plan of everything that you want to accomplish in one day that takes people literal months to accomplish, instead of just planning all that out, if you just accomplish one thing today and two things tomorrow and then three things tomorrow, isn't it so much better for you? Because then you can actually build up your evidence and you can start to love yourself as well, instead of just having all these lofty expectations and just saying, oh man, I had like 15 tasks in my mind, or I had 15 tasks on my to-do list and I feel like complete shit because I didn't accomplish any of them. Instead, isn't it easier to just put down one task a day? And then once you get that one task down, then you add two every single day. Then you get two down. Then you add three. And then that is how you can actually get out of this funk of hating yourself as well. That is exactly how life is going to improve as well. Manage your expectations. lower them. Actually lower your expectations of what life is actually supposed to be like and what you're actually supposed to give life as well. And then from there, once you're out of that funk, once you're ready to go, once everything seems to be lining up, and even if things don't line up, at least your internal emotions and your mental state is actually much better for you to accomplish your dreams and your goals, you're going to be going on full throttle. And whenever that rough patch comes around again and you start to hate yourself, you know exactly what to do then. All right, guys, this was episode number 134 of the Daily Lessons podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you actually benefited as well. Remember to subscribe to the channel because I make videos like this all the time, and I would really appreciate the support as well. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.